I wondered, what is your communication been with police since then?
None. Zero, zilch. They are backtracking as much as they can now. I have a few friends at the police department that are reaching out, telling me, good job, don't give up, you need to. I have a couple of friends that told me to make the comparison in certain areas and to look at certain things. Prospect being the key point. The young lady was snatched off of Prospect. We were talking about people that were snatched off of Prospect. At the same time point that this young lady was taken off of Prospect was the same time point we were looking for those young ladies, and she being one of them on Prospect that was taken from that area. So that was the easiest comparison that they told me to just keep following up on. No matter what anybody says, follow up in that area. They can't dispute that, no matter what. They tried to, so far, saying that there was never no missing women. There was all a hoax. No one died. No one's missing. No one's being taken off a Prospect. But again, that's the same thing that happened with Terry Blair. The exact same thing that happened with Terry Blair. And we ended up working that case by accident. We was doing a neighborhood cleanup and ran across the first body. Doing a neighborhood cleanup. And it just kept going as we were doing more cleanups within the community, and found out there was more young ladies there and more missing. But again, they kept saying these are isolated incidents as this is going on. But we knew even in Blair's case that it's not isolated. Burdella here in Kansas City.
Sure. Yeah.
How he got away with it too.
Right.
They kept saying isolated incidents. Here's a man selling body parts in a store in Westport.
Yes.
But
it just in front of you, even. But you're pointing it out, and they're telling you no.
Yeah, it becomes a troublesome thing, when you. I guess when you're the black sheep of the town, because you do have a big mouth and you won't shut up, because things need to be brought to light, things need to be exposed, those hard conversations need to happen. I'm fearful for my grandkids. That's why I do what I do. Is for my grandkids, for the next generation coming up. Because if I'm going to live here in Kansas City, there's going to come a day that I can't walk, I'm old and I'm tired, and I need somebody to look out for me. And if I don't give them the tools too, then I'm really hurting myself.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah. Okay, so
he said something that interested me. He said snatched.
Yes. Yes.
Can you describe that further?
We have the tendency in the community, law enforcement, the community, looking at a difference between, and I'm not saying this by a long shot, but we look at young ladies that work the streets at night, getting in the cars. They usually say, well, that's on them. They knew what they were getting into. But these are some young ladies that have been taken, literally, that do not work that industry, that are just out partying, having a good time, and are snatched off the streets by these individuals. It doesn't matter if they are working that industry or not. This is not something that they agreed upon. This is not something that somebody wants. They still need to be treated with dignity and respect. They are human. They have rights. No is no. It doesn't matter. I said this and I will say this until I have every breath out of my body. I don't care if you're married to someone and the wife says no, She has the right to say no. So if somebody is boyfriend, girlfriend, and they're using that a lot too now, as well as domestic, they agreed upon this. No. No one ever agrees to be locked in a basement, a metal dog collar, and I'm picturing this in my mind because I think about the slave collars around this young lady's neck with a padlock that no one's looking for because they're saying it's not happening. If she would have never got away, we wouldn't be here today. They would have just said, no, it doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. Knowing that she was snatched, taken off of Prospect, taken to Excelsior Springs. How many more? How many more? She made the statement her friends did not make it. That lets you know that there was more than her. But they're going to overlook that. Because right now they can't have that type of publicity in our city with football season, tourism, the World Cup. It's not good for the homeless. They're sweeping the homeless out. If you notice, drive around Kansas City.
Yeah.
Where they used to be,
The camps are gone.
they just sent the city in, just took all their possessions, took everything, bulldozed down the camps, and they're gone. Winter's coming. Where are these people going to go? How are they going to survive? That's kind of how I feel like they treated these young ladies, these young men. It's more than young ladies being snatched. I want you to understand that. We have some young men that are missing. But that's a whole different story. They're not going to talk about that at all. We have to do better. We have to do better.